In this video, I'll give you a basic introduction to the Mendeley interface as well as the Microsoft Word plugin that allows your Mendeley Desktop app to communicate with your Microsoft Word app. So the first thing you would have needed to do is to install the Mendeley Desktop app on your computer and to create a Mendeley account. If you haven't done so yet, there are instructions in the description of this video that explains how and where you can download the Mendeley Desktop app and where you can also create a Mendeley account. Once you've installed your Mendeley Desktop app, your screen should look the way mine does right now. Another thing is that the best way to get an intuitive feel for how this desktop app works is actually just to start using it. If you want to do that instead, you can skip ahead to the next video where I'll show you how to add documents to your Mendeley app. If you want to see the buttons first though, you can stick with this video and I'll walk you through that quickly. Okay, so the first thing to take note of is the Add Files button in the top left hand corner. So in this corner you can either click on the Add button, which will open up your Finder window if you're on a MacBook, or just your files if you're on a Windows computer, and it'll allow you to select documents to upload to this Mendeley app. Mendeley can only read PDF documents, so if you have a journal article or a book that is in a Word format that you would like to reference, I would recommend that you first convert it to PDF before adding it to your Mendeley library. You can add it to your Mendeley library, but if you try to read it in your Mendeley Desktop app, Mendeley will open up an application that can actually read a Word document, like Microsoft Word, for instance. If you want to stay within the desktop while using your documents, then rather convert your documents to PDFs. Then there's a little drop-down menu here that gives you different options for adding files. I'll walk you through some of these in the next video. Here you can add folders. Folders are really useful if you want to group your references according to certain types of papers that you're writing. This then allows you to save specific documents to specific folders. So you can either use this button at the top here to create a folder, or you can just use this create folder link over here. This is a sync button. The sync button is really useful if you are using the Mendeley Web Importer, which is a plugin that you can install on your browser that allows you to add references directly from your web browser to your Mendeley account, and then you've got a help menu. Down the left column over here, you have your All Documents folder. So when you have documents segmented into different folders, this folder over here will just be where all your documents show up in one single folder. Recently added is for documents that you've recently added. Recently read is for documents that you've recently read. Then you've got a favorites folder. So once you've added references to this library, you will have the option to allocate a little star next to certain readings if you want to favorite them. So whichever documents you favorited will then show up in this folder. Then you have My Publications. So this folder is for publications where you are the author. Here you can then keep a repository of your own publications. And then this is just an example of a folder that I've created. I've called it Trade and Gender. Okay, then you've got the groups function, which is useful as well. If you are co-authoring with other people, you guys can create a group and one person can invite other members to the group. This is also really useful to ensure that you guys can consolidate all the references that you're using in your article that you are writing, and so you avoid having to do manual referencing. And then there's just trash, which is for whatever document you've deleted. Once you have documents in your library, the names of the authors will appear here. You can also filter by other characteristics, like by tags, if you add tags to your publications, or by publications. Then in the top right hand corner, you've got the search bar. The search bar is really useful if you've got a very large library. It allows you to also search by different categories, whether it be by author or by notes that you may have left for yourself within the document. And I'll show you in another video how you can add notes to your documents or how you can annotate your documents. And in this main window over here, this will essentially be where your references will show up. Once you've installed your Mendeley Desktop app, you'll need to install your Microsoft Word plugin. And to do so, you can go to the Tools menu. you'll see that there should be a button which says Install MS Word plugin. If yours says uninstall, like mine does, then it means you've already installed it. So to find this plugin, you can go over to your Word document, or you can just open any Word document that you may have, and then go to the References tab, and then you'll see a little window with a few buttons that have the Mendeley logo on. So the first button is an Insert or Edit Citation button, and then you've got a Merge Citation button. If you're on a Word computer, these two buttons will be combined. They won't be two separate buttons. You'll have an Undo button. This is if you've maybe added a reference and you want to undo it, you could literally click the Undo button. And then you've got the refresh button. So this is when you've maybe changed a detail in your desktop app and you wanted to update all the references for that particular change in your Word document, then you can click the refresh button. Other notable buttons is the Insert Bibliography button, which is really where the magic happens when it comes to Mendeley. This allows you to generate an entire reference list or bibliography with the click of a button. The Open Mendeley button literally just opens up your Mendeley Desktop app if it's not already open. And then Style is where you can choose your reference style that you want to use.